All right, Chicago Hockey Radio postgame show. Justin Lynch and Tassos Kirkos. Hawks lose 4-2 to the Winnipeg Jets to open up the Anders Sorensen era. No, it wasn't maybe the guns a-blazing back and forth barn-burning affair that we all thought it would be maybe going into this game that I know you guys were talking about live on Instagram before. But Justin, I'm going to, throw it over to you, brother. But, five losses in a row now. And but a little bit of juice in the first. Well, I know we're going to dive into it, but I don't know. Opening up with a loss under Sorensen.
Yeah, no bueno. No bueno. I mean, I only put this one on Sorensen. I put it more on the players. I know people are going to dog on Sorensen right away, but it's like we do have to look at the big picture here, right? He's had one practice in preparation for this game, not even a morning skate because this was a matinee in Chicago, so not even a morning skate to prep for this one. So he's just coming into this team, right? It's going to take time to implement that system, that he wants with the offense. So, because it did look like more of the same tonight. Like, to be honest with you, it felt like Richardson was still behind the bench. Like, it was kind of the same stuff. I'd say the only real difference I noticed is just the defense getting more involved in the rush and the offense. I mean, both of the Hawks' goals tonight did come from defensemen, and I think that's a positive. I think Alex Vlasic gets 2 games in a row of goals. That's a positive. It's good to see him getting more involved in the offense. I've talked about it a lot going into the season, right? Like, his defensive game is great, can expand and become a good two-way defenseman. He's showing it. So that's a good thing. I do want to get some positives out of the way here, and then we could dive into all the negatives. And Alec Martinez also has first goal as a Hawk, finally avenging 2014 from 10 years ago. Not quite. We haven't quite got to that point yet, but good to see that. But otherwise, just not much going offensively. We had 14 shots on goal. Like, that's inexcusable.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like, I would have thought the players would have had more of a fire lit under them. It didn't feel like it watching this game. The first period, it did. The first period was positive. Like, it felt like, okay, like we got some positivity here. We're leading 2-1. We had 8 shots on goal, and then we had 6 the rest of the game. 6 shots on goal in 40 minutes of play in the last 2 periods. Simply cannot happen. It just feels like there's a lot of guys out there, especially these older veterans. I just that doesn't feel like they're playing with a whole lot of fire and a whole lot of intensity. And that's why I keep saying I feel like this team's got to get younger. I know people are sick of hearing it, but I'm going to keep saying it. We got to call up some of these guys. This team needs a roster shakeup. A coaching change alone is not going to fix, solve these problems. So I think it became pretty clear watching that tonight.
So, yeah, you mentioned the 2 goals from the D. That was nice. Clearly, Sorensen's going to tell them to push it up the ice a bit more. As in the defense, Martinez also can really rip the puck. And then he proceeded to get hit in the face in the third period by that Adam Lowry ricochet shot, and then went to the locker room. He didn't come back.
No, he did it. And by the way, he wasn't the only one. I don't know how I forgot to mention this in the little hypothesis to start this, but I think Peter Mrazek, he left this game early in the first, some sort of injury, some sort of groin thing. Not the first time Mrazek has dealt with a groin injury in his career. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Hopefully he's not out for an extended period because he's been so good this season. And that would make it tough with the goaltending, right? I mean, Soderblom was a starter, but to be fair, he's been good this season. And, maybe not his best night, but I don't think he was the problem. And I think for any goalie coming into a game like this with cold feet, when you're not scheduled to start, that's such a tough thing to deal with. So I don't put this on him at all. I don't even think maybe the goal is maybe the third one, but I don't think much of these goals are on him. The first one was just a good tip. Second one was just a nasty backhand.
The third one, everybody was sleeping as soon as the puck went up by the bench. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the rebound maybe could have, but the defense was asleep there. So I don't think, Soderblom's at fault here. We just got way outshot and outplayed, right? 29 shots to 14. The puck possession wasn't even close. So, but yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with Peter. Hopefully it's not a big deal, but he did leave this game in addition to Martinez. Hopefully he's good too, because he just got back from injury as well, Martinez. So, and he was having a good game too. So that was too bad.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Connor Bedard listed as a center, but he only took 1 draw through 2 periods, and
it's funny.
Khrushchev was taking a lot of the draws on that line. I don't know.
I kind of predicted him, like, you know what, they're going to keep him at center, but don't have him do the draws because of his face-offs issue. And that's exactly, he wasn't taking the draws unless he had to tonight or this afternoon. So I think that was a positive, right? Until he gets the face-off situation figured out, like I would delegate that to other players, but that is something he's got to figure out. He did have an assist, a secondary assist in the power play, but otherwise, I wouldn't say that was a great line for that first line. Not just Betsy, just the first line in general. Not a lot of shots, not a lot of offense produced from that line. I think the problem is like you have 3 guys who struggle to win puck battles, right? Like I think you got to have either one of Betsy, Turbo, Kershey on that line. You got to have somebody else up there who can win battles, whether it's a Bertuzzi or Foligno or Hall, like somebody who could get them the puck, because I think they just struggled from that regard in terms of possession. But they're also, when you match up against the best lines in the Jets, it's tough. That's a good team. Like I know they had lost 4 straight before they broke that streak, but it's still the Winnipeg Jets. They're still a way better team than we are. So that's another thing. Like first game for Sorensen against a team like that in our division, like that's a tough one. And Connor Hellebuyck is the best goalie in hockey. So yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, I feel like we do a lot of well, that's a good team over there on this show from time to time. I
Compared
didn't
to
think
us, every
honestly,
team,
uh,
yeah.
honestly, I know the Jets play like a they have the ability to play this pretty suffocating brand of hockey where especially with a team like the Hawks, it just felt like at a certain point they had just thrown a wet blanket over them and
Excuse me.
yeah, they just like threw a wet blanket over them, and the Hawks were unable to. It was a slogfest, really, for the Hawks trying to even move the puck out of their own zone. It was nothing like the first period at all, right? But even still, though, that still wasn't like the best game out of the Jets for me. Like it didn't feel like they were going. Some of their guys were going. Like I know Niederreiter was going a little bit. He tucked one. But like Mark Scheifele was pretty invisible to me until he put that one in the net. Like I don't know. They were like they didn't test Hellebuck much outside of the first period. I was really thrilled with the first period from the Hawks.
Yeah, me
I
too.
wish they had put the puck on net a little bit more, but that was still outside of that one of the better first periods I think we've seen this season. And then it completely disappeared. It completely went away from that afterwards. But the first 20 was good. You just gotta do that for the last 40 too.
We've never seen that this season, right? A strong start followed by the team completely collapsing the rest of the game. So yeah, but I would agree with you. I think that was one of our better first periods. So we haven't had an issue scoring the first goal lately. It's funny. The last game against the Bruins, Alex Vlasic opened the scoring too. So and I joked to my Hawks GC like I'm sure the rest of this game will go great. And sure enough, I was obviously being sarcastic. The rest of the game did not go great. But yeah, the Hawks have not struggled getting off the good starts lately, but it's just been finishing these games. It's the opposite is the problems early in the season. So something that gotta get figured out. I've said it, and in the pregame, it's like my expectations are low, but I just want to see consistent efforts, right? Consistent 60 minutes of play here. Let's look like the same team from period to period, but it's just been a problem all season for this Hawks club. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. I didn't notice too many changes. We talked about the team like being more active and engaged and with the puck pushing the puck up the ice out of their own zone. They interviewed assistant coach Derek Plant in the second intermission, I think. And he was just saying that there's like a few neutral zone tweaks, but largely a lot of the stuff is pretty similar systems wise. Minus a few things. I didn't know if you took anything away. I thought Taylor Hall was good tonight too, a little bit more noticeable than he had been in previous games. And yeah, I don't know. If you really want to get into it, Tyler Bertuzzi.
He was terrible.
Can we talk about the last play, the empty net goal from Appleton?
What was that?
Connor Bedard makes an excellent play to drive the puck through the neutral zone. I think he struggled with that at times, more so than we've seen, or more so than we think he can do. Like I think a player like Connor Bedard should be an automatic zone entry anytime he touches the puck, really, or is lugging it through the neutral zone. He should. That there are certain guys around the league that they're automatic zone entries. 98 has that potential, but so he enters the zone with speed, ready, makes a good play. After he misses it the first time, I think to get it over and do something, and then he gets it right over, puts it on Bertuzzi's stick, and he rims it around the boards so hard that. And you could say that maybe there's not enough support from the Blackhawks along the wall there too, but that puck goes all the way down, and then Mason Appleton, who didn't he score the empty netter against them the last time they played too? Or
I think the last time they played,
the last time they played, it was overtime. It was overtime,
right.
but I don't know. I feel like that guy he rang one off the inside of the post too in the third period. He almost had
that's
one.
right. That was labeled. Yeah, that was too bad. He's had a few posts this season, but yeah, not his strongest game. And yeah, I gotta say, I'm not loving that contract at the moment. I really hope he gets his shit together because I don't love the fact is it like a 5-year deal too, 4 or 5 years, whatever it is. So yeah, that's not ideal. I mean, hopefully he snaps out of this stretch, but I've not been impressed with him at all. It was good to see at least on the other end of it. Turbo had a nice assist in the Vlasic goal, and yeah, we talk about Martinez. So a couple of additions, the free agent guys did play better today. Like we want more out of those guys, under this new regime. But yeah, more of the same for guys like Bert. Which is tough to see. But
He's
yeah,
a
the
total
Hawks
play killer right now. Like the puck goes on this, and it's dead, Justin. It's dead.
He's had bricks for hands this season. It's been rough. And yeah, just it's dire, man. It's like I don't want to be too doom and gloom, but like here we are, 5 straight losses, right? We're still dead last year, 8-17-2. It's like we haven't that Dallas game, last Wednesday, that feels like ages and ages and ages ago. And like who knows, we're gonna break out this stretch. It's gonna be tough, right? Because we got this New York trip coming up here. Got teams like the Rangers. I mean, Rangers, to be fair, been struggling a bit late. But like with this Hawks team, it's like we don't want to get into this game. It's like whoever we're playing, it's like we're at the disadvantage. So but maybe we can slog one out against the Islanders, then Devils after that. That's gonna be tough. Not to get too ahead of myself here, but I think with Sorensen, I think you'll see more of a systemic adjustments on this road trip. I think first game, at home with not much of a turnaround. He's been head coach for barely 48 hours. So I think you can't really judge him too much off of this first performance. I think we'll learn more about him in this system after this road trip here. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be kind of interesting. Penalty kill, this is a bright spot too. We could
Yeah.
we could talk about that a little bit.
Special teams are good. I mean, we were 1 for 1 the power play, and then yeah, the penalty kill was perfect, 2 for 2. So
Yeah.
and that was something, to be fair, if Richardson's Hawks, that was also positive, right? The special teams for the Hawks they've been solid. I think they're up there. I think like power play is like if it's not in the top 10, it's close, and the penalty kill is around the same. So that's good. Special teams is good. So you'd be surprised to see this team yet is 32nd. That just shows you how bad we've been at even strength, and that continued tonight as well. It's like it's something you got to figure out.
I'm trying to think. Any other Jets notes you had? Like, there was Brad Lambert missing the wide open net too.
They had a few misses like that.
Does he not have a first career goal in the NHL yet? Did they say that?
That's actually a good question. I mean,
thought
that would have been.
I thought he had one last year. I'm gonna check it right now, because I thought Darren Pang was like, "Oh, you're not gonna get a better chance at your first NHL goal."
Yeah, that was served to him on a silver platter, and he missed. Yeah, that was tough for him for sure.
That was a bad look. He just whiffed on that one. Oh no, no, he had an assist in one game last year. So no, he has not put his first one in the net yet.
I think just of the Jets, I see a lot of these performances, like these goals. It's like Velarde, 11 goals on the season. Niederreiter, 10 goals in the season. Like they're getting contributions from like everybody throughout the lineup. Like that's been a positive for them. All season.
Niederreiter's good, dude.
He is. No, he's a player for sure. He has been for a while. I swear he's always been a Hawks killer too. I swear every time he plays the Hawks, he does something. And yeah, that rang true again tonight for sure.
I'm a fan of that Vlad Nemesnikov guy too a lot. Like he's
got
just
potential. Yeah.
he's big, he's an ox, and just bodies guys and just takes the puck and he makes some nice plays with it too, and he's good along the wall, and he's just a lot smarter of a player than people give him credit for. And ever since he's been in Winnipeg too, it's just a really nice fit. But yeah, I don't know if the Jets are Stanley Cup contender. Do these guys play again this season? I think they play one more time. Yeah, they play. Oh, they don't play again until April 12th back here in Chicago.
Oh wow, so we got a long time to wait for that. But yeah, and all of a sudden with this win, the Jets are tied for first with the Wild for first in the division. So big for them. They do have 2 games ahead of them though. But yeah, I mean this team, it's kind of started to fall back to earth for them, but maybe this is a good W for them to kind of get it back on track, right? I do think it's a playoff team, but I would agree with you. I'm not sure if I'm sold on them for the cup. I do think Hellebuck has played absolutely out of his mind this season. Maybe not tonight. I mean, 12 for 14. That's not very good for him. But in general, this season, he's probably got more wins out than they deserve. But we'll see if that continues.
Alex Vlasic tonight played 25:08.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely stepped into that role. I mean, I'd say if there's one negative, I think we're definitely missing Seth Jones a lot, and that rang true tonight. But if there's one positive, it's really allowed Alex Vlasic to kind of step into that 1D role and really thrive. I think he's done a fantastic job. Because not only, like, he knows he has to get involved in the offense because nobody else in that D core is really going to do it. So I think it's been positive in that regard. He's also racking up apples. I think he's got like 12 points in the season now. He's almost up to the same total he had all of last year, 15. So good to see from him for sure.
Yeah. And Bedard too. No forward was above 17 minutes in ice time except for Connor Bedard, who was at 20 minutes and 26 seconds. So at least he's not afraid to run 98 too as much.
Yeah, that's good. He should be. He should be playing around 20 minutes a night.
21 shifts, 20 and a half minutes. That's about right.
Yeah, no, I like
no shots on goal. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, Hawks in general didn't have a lot of shots on goal. Actually, I think the defense had as much shots. If I'm looking at it now, just doing some quick maths, yeah, the defense had as much shots on goal as the forwards did, 7-7 even for that regard. So yeah, that's that's a bit of an issue. And I think that first line
at Connor Bedard was 1 for 1 on his one faceoff taken.
There we go. Progress.
100% is definitely his highest in-game face-off percentage of his career.
Make
I'm
yeah,
sure.
I gotta make a graphic say Bedard was 100% of the draws. Just don't say how much it was. Don't say it was one from like, yeah, he was perfect in the four face-offs today. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, just the offense in general is just kind of sleepy. That's kind of been the case this season. 2 goals on the night. I mean, haven't been a lot of games we scored more than two. Hopefully that'll change. I know Sorensen, like that's kind of the thing he's preached, right? He wants to get more goals out of his team. First game, not the case, but you know what? I think we'll give him, maybe first game jitters or a clean slate. I was hoping, just this hire can maybe get a bit of an initial bump for this team, right? It would kind of light a fire under these players. I think a lot of them maybe feel a bit responsible for, the Luke firing and all that. So I think that's why I was optimistic going to this game tonight. It's not necessarily, yes, he's jumping into it pretty quickly, but it's like I was thinking the players would play more inspired. It just didn't feel like that. It felt kind of sleepy. And just in the building, it felt sleepy. You see it, man. It's like there was no energy tonight. And they even booed the team a lot at the end there, which I guess to be fair, we are. I get it, but it's kind of gloomy at the moment. I hate to say it, but it's true.
I should mention, I thought Reichel was pretty good tonight too. He had some jump into his legs and was buzzing around the ice at times and moving his feet around the offensive zone. I kind of liked his game a little bit, but
Yeah, I think that's one thing though. He's kept him down there in the fourth line where it's like I think we got to prioritize development here. Get Reichel in the top six. That's my call. I know he's looked good with Maroon and Smith, but he needs to be playing more. Like I'm sorry, like he does.
you will probably get an update on Peter Mrazek tomorrow, is my guess.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I'm still kind of. It was an awkward little. I don't know if it's like he went down awkwardly or what caused that. It was very odd.
Yeah.
He stayed in initially. I think because they looked at it like it was something like a first save he made or something off. He stayed in the game. I think it was around midway through the first day. He's like, no, I can't continue. But yeah, hopefully it's not long because man, if we're without Peter, I mean, we're in a tough enough spot right now. That's just making you have to call up somebody from Rockford. I mean, Drew Commesso. I mean, I don't think the way he's been in the White Sox this season, I don't think he's NHL ready. But do you want to call Mitchell Weeks? He's kind of more of an ECHL guy, being forced to play in the AHL. So yeah, that would be rough. They would have to really rely on Soderblom, who's had a good season, but you know. That'd be tricky.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably gonna have to call up Comesso, but this is, we at least I've been calling for it the last few weeks of giving Soderblom a run of 3, 4, 5 games and
That's
just kind
true.
of seeing what happens.
That is
So
true.
we might get it now, just
Yeah.
not
How
because of a
long though is the
coach's
question.
decision, but
Yeah.
because there's no other goalies left.
Yeah, and it makes it tough, with the Brossaw situation too. Like, where if he was here, this wouldn't be an issue. But we don't know when he's coming back. At this point, at this rate.
From the comments, Mrazek will be out for quote a little bit. Sorensen said Martinez will also miss some time. That's from Ben Pope.
A little bit. Well, I mean, that's probably positive, right? A little bit. No one doesn't mean. I mean, if we take it for its word, that's probably weekly or daily thing. But I guess we'll learn more tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be around for Monday against the Rangers, though.
Yeah, probably not. But I think Soderblom consecutive starts. I like to see it. I don't think he's had it so far this season. So, yeah, I'd be fine with that.
No, I'm happy with it. I'd love to see Soderblom get 3, 4, 5 games here, and I don't know that they want to put Comesso in the net, so
Yeah, no, I
it
don't think
probably
he's
is
ready.
Soderblom's net as long as Peter Mrazek's out, and I hope they don't rush him, and I hope they don't really push it. But yeah,
And it's funny, like this is something we've been speculating about, right? Just the workload Peters had this season, right?
yeah.
This is his 20th start in 27 games,
Is that
and
the
we
most in
spec
the NHL, or it's probably the guy you played tonight,
it's
Connor
got to be
Hellebuyck?
up there. And like we kept saying, like this is a guy who's had problems of injuries, right? Like I was worried about it. It's like this is why we should be starting Soderblom more, so we take some relief off of Peter. And like here we are, right? I mean, hopefully this groin thing isn't something where he's had before because I know he's had those issues, and hopefully it's it doesn't carry over. But we'll see. It's speculation at this point. Yeah.
What else? Spit for a minute while I look up who's played the most games for goalies in the NHL for a second.
Sure. Not Blackhawks related to this game necessarily, but I wanted to bring it up. A little bit of prospect talk. Roman Kantsarov in the KHL has been absolutely lighting it up lately. He had a hat trick the other night and he had 2 goals today. 14 points in 15 games this season. I had to shout him out because he's been playing really well. I know we talk a lot about Ice Sox prospects out here. Probably don't talk enough about prospects throughout the rest of hockey. So just wanted to shout him out there. I think that's pretty positive. Ice Sox. Speaking of Ice Sox, they play a game tonight. I think they're playing right now. Puck drop. So hopefully they have a bounce back. The first game without Swords and they lost 4-0. So that's a bit tough. They too are adjusting to a coaching change right now as we speak. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, for sure.
Okay, NHL leader in games played by goalies right now. UC Saros is at the top with 22, just tied by Connor
Close.
Hellebuck, who just played in his 22nd game this afternoon. That was Peter Mrazek's 21st game. So,
Really? Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we love
Or no,
Peter,
it was
like
his 20th. I'm sorry. That was his 20th. So he's in the
yeah.
top, it's Markstrom, it's Binnington, Vasilevsky, Montembeault, Philip Gustafson. All those guys have played like 20. Swayman, they've all played 20 games. So,
Yeah, and as much as we love Peter, like, yeah, I don't think he should be like
no.
up there amongst the league leaders in games played, right? Yeah, no.
Tied with Igor Shesterkin, Jake Ottinger, I don't know if
Yeah.
he needs to be playing the same amount of games as those guys.
Yeah, no, I would tend to agree with that. But in regards to the Hawks, yeah, I mean, I do hope we'll see a bounce back. We've been waiting for a bounce back for a while, but Monday you do play its original six matchup, yet another one. How many of those have we had lately?
A
But yeah,
lot.
it gets a Rangers team that's in a bit of a tough spot now. They just got rid of Trouba, so we'll see if the room's in a bit of a dire space. I know our room probably is at the moment, but hopefully get that going in the positive direction here. But yeah, I think that's hopefully a game the Hawks can bounce back. But it's gonna be tough. You're going on the road now, right? That's the other thing. So a big road trip to kind of simulate this Sorensen system. We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
All right, you ready to wrap it up?
Yeah. Most chat's got questions. I think. Yeah. I think we've covered this game. Yeah.
A lot of it's hard to watch. One somebody says keep Camesso and the minors, bring up Weeks. I don't know. That's a hard sell. I mean, unless you're putting Arvid Soderblom in there no matter what over the next 3 games of this road trip.
Yeah, just keep Arvid in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So
if it's a little bit of time, I don't think it's going to be a major problem. I think Peter will probably be back soon. But yeah, I would agree.
This week, I mean, we'll get more as we go on tomorrow and Monday.
I think this team is really missing another thing before we leave. I do think this team is really missing Seth Jones. I do think him coming back is going to help a lot. Probably played a big part in why Luke's gone now. I mean, we lost a lot of those close games and mid-November where it's like I think if you had him out there, maybe that was go the other way. But yeah, I mean, we just got to kind of hold the fort until then. Probably without him for at least another week or here. But should be back soon. Hopefully they'll help out this team because we need whatever help we can get at this point. I would agree with that commentary. It is hard to watch. This game was hard to watch. I thought it'd be more enjoyable, more fun. I still think it will be. I think it's going to take time, right? It's not, it's not going to look that much different at the moment. Sorensen's got to get more practices, more games under him until we really start to see some changes. So I think just a little bit. I know people hate to hear patience, but I do think it does require a little bit of patience right now.
Yeah, agreed. Okay. Podcast on Monday with you and I. Also the same case on Wednesday, just you and I, but we'll all be back together for Friday. But I think we're going to lock in some guests on Monday and Wednesday to mix it up a little bit with you and me. Not that you and I, honestly, when you and I are together, we do a better job than Lee. Lee brings us down. No, I'm just kidding. Love you, Lee. We're doing good. So we're going to do that Monday, Wednesday. Lee is live streaming the game on Monday against the against the Rangers on Monday, and he's also live streaming the game Thursday. Who do they play Thursday? The Islanders, right?
Thursday, yeah, Islanders. That's right. Yep.
So,
that's
2 days off in New York City before. That's dangerous.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
we'll
dangerous.
see. Maybe that's a bonding moment for the team here. But yeah, Hawks Islanders Thursday. Ugh, yeah, we'll see how that game is. But knowing how the Islanders style of play is in this team at the moment, that might not be the most exciting game of all time. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah. So Lee will be live streaming both of those games, and then those will be the last 2 live streams we have probably before we're all together in the same room doing one. So that's fun.
That'll be fun.
And we'll also maybe go to a game the following week after. But so there's that. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're here right now, tell a friend, sign in on another email address and click the subscribe button. Click the bell, as Lee likes to say, to get notifications from us from when we're live or when we post something. What else? There was something else. Oh, Spotify Wrapped, or Apple Podcasts, whatever you do. If we are included in your Spotify Wrapped or Apple Podcast Wrapped, you could post on your social media and tag us, and we'll post on ours, or you could even just send it to us and we'll post on ours anyways, because we've gotten a couple of those, and that's super cool and means a lot to us, and we really appreciate it. And not to get super sappy here, because we do that quite often, but it's really cool when you guys send us that we're a top podcast, or even like the top podcast for your Spotify Wrapped. That means a lot to us. Also follow us on Instagram and all that good stuff. TikTok, I guess, if that's your same thing. But yeah, keep doing the thing. We'll be back Monday for the podcast, and then you and I will also probably you and Lee are doing the post game show Monday after. So you'll
Awesome.
only catch me on the podcast, but yeah, you'll be around for sure.
Of course, always.
Your Instagram lives too are crushing it. I don't mean to.
Oh yeah, I think we're
keep
gonna do
going.
that for all the
pre-games.
games.
The pre-games are fun.
Yeah, we definitely enjoyed that. Definitely, I think our predictions aged really well for this game. I was hoping we see more energy, and it was a pretty sleepy affair. But hopefully, going forward, yeah, that trend will reverse here. Of
Cool. All right, brother. I will catch you Monday.
course, see ya.